So I was hiking back to the woods to my truck, and I looked up here on this little hill, and there's a bunch of rocks that were kind of out of place. So I came up here, and I'm 99.99% sure it's a house foundation. See, there's a big pile of rocks here. This looks like a cut stone. It's a nice rectangular piece. And if you look over there, I think that's the actual foundation to a home. I have not detected this. I have never been here, and I've never seen this on a map. Now, we are in an area that other people detect, so this might have been hit already. I don't know. I don't see any pieces of iron like laying up against the trees or anything. That's usually the first giveaway. You'll see chunks of like horseshoes or plow points just laying up against tree trunks or laying on top of rocks. I don't see any of that. I am certain this is a foundation though. Oh, look, yeah, there's bricks here. This would have been where the house stood. This is the basement. And this big pile of stones right here is probably the chimney pile. So it would have had a stone chimney with maybe bricks on top, which was pretty typical for this area. And the whole thing just fell over backwards. That's why there's a pile of stones uphill from the house. That's pretty cool though. It's awesome. I have a map of this area from 1850s, and it's not on the map then, so it was probably already gone by the 1850s, I would guess. This is a pretty accurate map. Yeah, I don't see, well, there's some tin. That's a little scary because that would be later, so hopefully they didn't dump too much trash in here. Some glass, but that's pretty old glass. I think that would be a keeper if we found a whole one. Yeah, you can definitely see it. I don't see like they dumped any big amounts of trash in here though. Like some sinkholes I've been to for houses. That looks like it's been burned almost. Look how red that is. Not sure about that though. Yeah, some more bricks. Huh, pretty cool. Let's dig. Got all my gear over there. We have the AT Gold today. And we'll give it a shot. I'm hopeful, but a lot of the foundations I've been to in this area have been hit really hard, so I've never been here, so we'll see what happens. There's a poor little turtle. It's actually eastern box turtle, which I guess is really a tortoise. He died. You can see where the rodents have been chewing on him right there, keeping their teeth worn down. Alright, we'll leave him there. Well, I've been around the home site a couple times, and I have found nothing of interest except part of a broken bottle. I got a little bit of iron, no non-ferrous targets whatsoever, so I'm thinking that it's probably been hit really hard over the years. I'd come down here in the bottom. That's that bottle. That would have been a beauty. Beautiful color, kind of pink, lots of bubbles in it. But I was hoping to maybe find a well down here in this bottom area. You can see there's some piles of rocks and stuff, but I don't see any sign of a well, so it's probably been filled in. The home site's right up in there where the rocks and my gear is. And I came around this way. I'm going to go back up that way. And if I don't start digging stuff like really quick, we're going to keep on moving. We'll go to the other side of this swale, which is a low area that's kind of wet. And maybe there'll be another house on the other side. I'm not real happy when I find foundations like this, because people who have been hunting, just deer hunting and stuff for the past 50 years, they know it's here because they see it when they're out chasing deer and raccoons and whatnot. So they can tell their buddies or come back with the metal detectors themselves. I'm always most happy when we find a home site that there is no sign whatsoever on the surface. It's just stuff that's buried, and you can hear that with a metal detector. Sometimes you might see a piece of brick or an oyster shell, but for the most part, the average person out hunting deer would never, ever, ever see it. So they don't tell their buddies about an old house site. That's why I hate finding the foundations. They've all been hit. Well, not all of them, but you know what I mean if you've been digging. So we'll work our way back up around here and then hit the road. Check. In fact, this little area right here is where they had a salt lick, no doubt, because there's a tree stand up in that tree right there. So they haven't been here in a while, but I'm certain they saw that foundation when they were. We're back at the foundation. I had no signals coming across except iron, so we're going to pack up and keep moving. If we stayed here for a while, we might find a button or two, maybe if we got lucky, a deep, deep coin, but I would rather look for the homes that have never been hit, and there could be a dozen, you know, old colonial coppers there. Easy to find stuff. So this is just not worth it to me to hang out very long. There's another dead turtle. Looks like he's been there for a while. No obvious sign of trauma. Like no one stepped on him like a cow or a horse, but oh well, poor little dude. Awful lot of dead ones. Imagine the population has to really be going down out here, because you know those things take forever to grow that big. I think they have some type of disease. Pretty sad. Wandering back toward my truck, doing a little metal detecting along the way, and haven't found anything, but I just saw something or see something that rustles my jimmies. You're gonna appreciate this if you've been watching my videos. I came across here just hitting some iron and nothing good. I think it might be fence wire, but look at this right here. See this plant? Do you know what that is? This is an iris, and these were planted by a person. So normally, and they're very, very hardy. They can live for, I don't know, maybe forever on their own. They get in little spots like this that dry out in the summer. Nothing else can really grow, and they do just fine. Now I suspect, although I can't say with any certainty, we're in shade for a minute, that there's going to be a home site right around here. So I'm going to take my gear off, and we're going to make a couple little circles in the woods. We're actually not too far from a place that I was detecting maybe 2 months ago, but this isn't the same site for sure. So the irises are right there, and we're going to circle around in here and go uphill from the plants. Maybe there'll be a house up in here somewhere, right over in there. I'm hoping anyway. There's some more irises there. Look. See, some irises there. Oh, there's a bunch of them there. Some coming up over here by me. Let's just walk up the hill. The thing about relics and plants like this is typically they don't move uphill on their own. So if you're finding pottery or bricks or something on the side of a hill, chances are the main part of the site is going to be above that. And the same goes for the irises to a certain extent. Because again, they were probably planted. So they could have planted them uphill from the house, downhill from the house, or beside it. I don't see anything else up here that would lead me to believe there's a home here, which is absolutely perfect. Because like I was saying earlier in the other video, if there's a foundation or a chimney pile, everyone and their uncle will know about it from deer hunters and well, just from hunters in general. A big sinkhole over here. This is definitely not a house foundation. Wow, look at that thing. It swallowed a big cedar tree. There's no hole in the bottom of it that I can see. All right, we'll go back, grab the machine, and just hunt right around where those irises are, and then circle out a couple good circles. That's where the irises are down there where my gear is, and I just dug a big horseshoe. It's not necessarily related to the house, so I'm getting a lot of blips of iron in here. Nothing good, no good signals except for one shotgun shell, so I've been around the place twice. This is the third time around. We'll look down here. I haven't been down there yet. Normally down in the bottoms aren't too great, but yeah, let's look some more. 10 more minutes and then we hit the road. Another dead turtle, or box turtle. That's 3 today. Here's some big type of metal spike. Looks pretty old. You know, there's a gear right there, so we're not far from it. I'm trying to dig some of the iron to see if this could possibly have been where the house was. Now, if the house was only here a short period of time, maybe just a few years, they might not have lost hardly anything. Or if they were really poor and didn't have any money or any good buttons, they wouldn't have lost them either. Or slaves. It could have been a slave shack. Who knows? We'll keep looking. Well, I spent about a half an hour here and did not get anything non-ferrous. You know, a horseshoe, a big spike, and a couple other odds and ends. It's very strange that there's not more here. Now, again, it might have been just a very poor home site that they didn't lose much, but of course irises probably would not have cost much to dig up out of your neighbor's yard and bring over. So I'm going to write this one off to not be anything good here except for irises. There's plenty of them. All right, that's got to be it for today. We got to go. I promised the wife I'd be home early today. Lots of chores. Well, we'll see on the first target of the day. Looky here. That's a quarter. I think it's a seated Liberty. Wow, that's awesome. Who would have thought that? That's the oldest silver I've found in a while. 1876. Love how silver typically will come out of the ground really nice. Gold's even better, of course, but I'll take that. That was only down that far. Beautiful. This is a really high-pitched squeak too. It's reading really high too, like silver. Let's just do it with our fingers. Sounds like it's right near the surface, whatever it is. If that doesn't get it, we'll get the shovel out. Yeah, they moved it. Is it silver? Oh, it's a cap. I don't know what that is, actually. Fairly heavy. It's not silver, I don't believe, but it's probably stainless or something. Part of a gun. Awesome. Well, it's a cap gun. I didn't show you digging. It was a good signal, but it was right next to where I found that piece of stainless steel or whatever the other thing was. So far, one good coin, and that's it. Just dug another piece of that cap gun. You can tell it's zinc. See how it's kind of flaky? That means something's made out of zinc, and usually that's like 1900 or later. We're roundabout then.